Hello everyone, this hour on Verbling, the next in my Getting Results in Business series. We are just in the beginning of our series, of our new, not series, of our new unit on how to assess performance. And what we've been talking about so far is assessing performance in projects, assessing people, staff, co-workers, and finally, performance of a company overall. So we're going to take that, learn a little more vocabulary, and give you a chance to do a kind of appraisal or assessment of your own. First, a little bit about me. I'm John Eric, your verbal teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out in Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. By the way, here are 3 quick rules to help you participate. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up. That means when you're not speaking, turn off your microphone so we can keep the classroom quiet. When you are speaking, tune in to the new words and the new expressions you're learning. Use them as actively as you can so I can correct you and give you feedback. Last but not least, open up to your classmates. Relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. Oh, and by the way, don't forget, follow me on Verbling. If you follow me, you can get notifications of my upcoming classes. So don't forget to go to my homepage and Verbling, click follow so you can see what's coming up. It's the only way that I can advertise the classes for you. Okay? So let's get started. We're right in the middle of a brand new unit on job performance in a business class. Let's say a quick welcome back to Sylvia and Sergio. Hello, Sylvia. Hello,
Hi.
Sergio.
Hello.
Hello. Sylvia, where are you, in Spain or Italy?
Yes, now I'm in Spain.
You sound closer. You sound a little closer than before. Let's say hello to, we've got some new faces here. So we have Jacqueline. Hello, Jacqueline. How are you?
Hello, fine, thanks.
Very good. Where are you from, Jacqueline?
Colombia.
From Colombia. Okay, very good. And Luigi? Hello, Luigi.
Hello, John.
Hi, Luigi. Where are you from?
I'm from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
You're from Rio. Okay. Bem-vindo, Luigi. And let's say hello to Ramses. Hello, Ramses.
Hello, John.
Hi, Ramses. And where are you located?
I am from Barcelona, Spain.
From Barcelona. Okay, fantastic. So listen, everyone. Oh, and we've got Jose. I was so worried. Jose had disappeared. Hello, Jose. How are you? Hello, Jose.
Hello. Hello. Fine. Thanks for asking. Nice to see you.
I was worried, Jose. I didn't see you last week.
Yes. I was working in the morning.
Ah, I see. Jose, did you have a chance to try the Memrise course, the one that I created for Unit 14? Did you have a chance to play with Memrise.com?
Sorry, John?
Did you have a chance to play or experiment with the course I created in Memrise? Memrise.com.
Memrise.com?
Yeah, I saw that you signed up.
Okay.
Did you have a chance to play with the vocabulary? A little bit?
A little bit, yes. 2 or 3 words only.
Okay. Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's useful?
I think that it is a good idea. I think it is useful, yes.
Okay, great. What about you, Sylvia? Have you used the vocabulary a little bit? You liked it, didn't you?
Yes, I use it. What's yesterday? Yeah, for me it's really useful.
Okay, good. So what I'm doing, everyone, for you new people, is after we complete a unit, or perhaps during the unit if I have time, I'm creating a review course that you can do totally independently. It will show you sentences, and you have to remember the vocabulary from the unit. So it's a good way to review, and the website will tell you when to practice. It should send you an email to say, oh, you're going to forget these words, come and practice. So you really don't have to do anything except for sign up. Okay? I'll give you the link to that when I create the one for Unit 15, which is the one we just started. Okay? But by the way, all the material is right here too. Don't forget. Let's go to today's class. By the way, all of our notes, as you know, are always in the first page under the video window. But there you go. There's the link for you. And I'll also quickly put a link in the internal group chat in case you don't have this. These are our notes. The important thing, I'm putting links to everything that we use here. So you'll see later on memorized keywords. When I get the course done, the link will be there. It's not done yet for Unit 15. Okay, so let's go to our first presentation, the first part of our unit. We're just finishing it up. You'll see it here in just a moment. And let's see. Okay, performance. Last week, we started off talking about job performance. We started by just describing the picture. How working in a busy kitchen, how that is similar to working in other kinds of companies. How you appraise or assess the performance. Well, if everyone walks out of the restaurant, you're probably doing something wrong. But that doesn't mean you know who's doing what wrong. So we talked a bit about how to appraise job performance for individuals and for a team. Okay, we did that in the vocabulary section called Working with Words. You can review this later. We had a little discussion. We read about one particular company's approach to appraisals. You can read this on your own to review if you weren't here. What we're going to do, we did a little bit of vocabulary. So what we're going to do is start in the second part of this presentation. You're going to learn some more vocabulary through listening. Okay? Before we do this, for those of you who weren't here, maybe someone could do a little recap of the main idea of what we read about. Okay? So I think, Sergio, you were here last week, right?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so this company, Sea Zoo, Wales' largest marine aquarium, do you remember what their solution was for doing appraisals? By the way, what we mean by appraisal, class, if I'm talking about an appraisal, what is that? Have any of you had a job appraisal at work? Let's just clarify the word appraisal before we go forward. What about you, Luigi? Are you working now or are you studying? What do you do?
Now I'm working.
What do you do? What's your job?
I'm military.
Ah, so listen, you have appraisals all the time, don't you?
Yes, I do.
How did they do? How did they do an appraisal in the military? What do they do? Do you have to take tests?
Yes, well, I have to take tests, and after all the tasks, we have a meeting, and the boss, the most senior officer,
right,
tell us what was good, what was wrong, what needs to be better,
what
performance
needs
in the next.
To be better? Mm-hmm.
Yes, what needs to be better in the next time.
Okay, very good. So the appraisal is not just one thing, it's several things. So you do the test, and then you have a one-to-one meeting with your sergeant or whatever. Is that right? That's how it works? So it's like two parts.
Yes, like two parts, and maybe in a group of people.
Right.
If a group is doing something, after the end of the task, the group being with the most senior person, and then we have an appraisal of the situation, of the tasks. That's it.
There you go. So, and in your line of work, having an appraisal is probably a very good thing, because if you go to a dangerous situation, you want to make sure that everyone knows what worked and what didn't.
Yes, yes, it is.
In my line of work, if I make a mistake, no one really gets hurt, but I can understand it's quite important. Okay, excellent. And let's say a quick hello to Diego, who's joining us right now. Hello, Diego. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine.
Very good. And where are you hanging out from today, Diego? Where are you located?
What? Pardon?
Where are you located, Diego?
Here?
Yeah, where are you in the world? Are you in Spain?
Ah. Oh, I'll come back because I don't hear well. I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay, no problem. No
Okay.
problem.
Okay.
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 So, Sergio,
Yeah.
what was Sizu's way of dealing with appraisals? Remember, they had gone through an evolution of sorts. Do you remember what they decided on?
Yes. Actually, previous they conduct the appraisals by just informal chat,
Right.
and then when they grew, they decide to make make sure that employees has a good understanding about this appraisals, and they decide to implement for writing twice a year.
They decided to implement I couldn't hear the last word.
In appraisal, but in writing
Oh,
way,
a written appraisal.
written appraisals. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Yeah. So, just to give you a little bit of background, we read this situation to get you started thinking about appraisals. Okay, and this company in particular went through a kind of evolution. They did it one way, they realized it wasn't effective, and they changed. Since we did this already in class, I'm going to move forward. You can review that on your own. You can even do this exercise on your own. I'd be happy to correct it for you if you have questions. But for today, I want to give you a different set of vocabulary words by doing a little bit of listening. Now, if you want to cheat, open the presentation, go to slide 8, and you can see what I'm going to read. But I'd like you to try it without cheating. Just use your ears. Okay? Listen to a human resources manager describing a system of 360-degree feedback. I guess that's supposed to be 360 degrees. Work with the partner and answer the questions. Well, we're going to work with each other. Let me ask Marius, are you working right now? Are you working? Are you studying? What do you do?
Yes, I'm working.
What's your line of work?
I started working as a teacher a year ago. Yeah.
Me too. What do you teach?
I teach history.
History. Very good. Romanian history.
Yes.
I was just guessing. Very good, very good. Are there appraisals at your job? Do you have
yes.
to be evaluated? Yeah?
Yes, yes. We have periodical appraisals, mostly in the first years.
Mm-hmm.
You are evaluated by the principal, by the other teachers.
Okay. So the principal is the one who is the administrator of the school, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you're evaluated by your boss, the principal, by your colleagues, the teachers.
Yes.
What about the students?
And you you can see the evaluation, the appraisal interaction with the students. If they appreciate the lesson, they appreciate your work, you can see that, I think.
But it's not part of the assessment.
No, no.
No, okay, fine. So, class, do you know what we call that kind of appraisal that Marius has? Do you know what we call that? Anyone want to take a guess what kind of appraisal that is? We've got different kinds. If it's not coming from the students going up, it's coming from the boss going down. What do you think we call that kind of appraisal? Anyone want to take a wild guess? It's the same word that we use for a company structure, like an old-fashioned company, where you've got the boss, the management, the workers, and you go down the hierarchy. Do you know what that's called? Anyone?
No.
Anyone want to take a guess? Really? No one? If your boss makes the decisions and you have to follow those decisions, we call that top-down. Top-down.
Top-down, yeah.
What do you think the opposite of top-down is?
Down top.
Not down top, but
Down up.
not down up, bottom up.
Bottom up.
Yeah. So top down, the principal of the school evaluates you. Bottom up, the students evaluate you. By the way, bottom up appraisals are very common. Usually you want a mixture of the two. What do you think you call it when your peers evaluate you? Want to make a wild guess? You got top down, bottom up, and if it's your peers, they're equal to you. Am I right? So, really no one wants to guess? No one likes guessing here. It's called a flat structure or a flat appraisal. What I mean is flat because you're all equal. I'm going to use the group chat to take some quick notes, so you'll see it there. Flat appraisal, top down, bottom up. Okay. Sylvia, turn on your microphone, or unmute yourself.
Yeah, but because I have my sister headphone, and so I have some problem with that.
You sound okay.
Yeah, I can't hear really well.
Can everyone else hear me okay? Is the sound okay? Yeah. Yeah, it's just...
The sound is okay.
Okay.
To me too.
It's just you, Sylvia.
Yeah, I know.
Switch headphones. Use the computer speakers. I don't know. Okay, but listen, we're gonna have to do some listening now, Sylvia. So you're gonna have to work this out the best you can. We're gonna listen to. Well, let me ask you a question before I tell you. 360 feedback. What do you think that is? Top down, bottom up, or flat? What do you imagine?
All of them.
All of them. I think so too. 360 feedback. It sounds like a mixture of all of them. Okay? Look at those questions. Tell me if there's any questions about the vocabulary in those three questions. Is everything clear in those three questions? I'll take that as a yes. Ramsey, what is a rater? Ramses.
Yeah.
What is a rater? It says, what do raters comment on? What's a rater, do you think?
It's the appraisals, no? I think.
The person who does the appraising.
What's the comment of the appraisal in general, I think.
Yeah. The person who does the appraising, who does the rating. Rating is like, I give you 5 stars.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, just to be sure, because that's not a word you see every day. Okay, so listen carefully, everyone. Here we go. You are going to hear how many people speaking? I'll tell you in a second. You're going to hear two people, an interviewer and manager speaking. Okay? Listen carefully and see if you can answer those three questions. Here we go. The interviewer says, is it right that you've moved on from top-down staff appraisals to what you call 360-degree appraisals? Manager, no, we still have more traditional top-down appraisals, but we're introducing 360-degree appraisals as well, because they have different functions. Interviewer, oh, in what way? Manager, you have to think of 360-degree as a development tool, basically, a trigger for change, rather than a way of deciding if anyone deserves a raise. Interviewer, so how does it work? Well, in 360 degrees, instead of just your boss appraising you, you have several different people giving you feedback. So, we hand out a feedback form to everyone. This is to say everyone you come into contact with, your manager, your colleagues, people on your team, your customers, contractors, suppliers, you name it. Obviously, it depends on the type of job and the organization, but we try to involve as many different kinds of people as possible. And with this kind of peer rating, you end up with a more complete picture of how someone is doing in their job. Interviewer, and what do you ask them? Manager, well, we use a feedback form with a scoring or value judgment system, asking them to comment on various different assessment criteria. For instance, job skills, abilities, attitudes, behaviors. Then you assess yourself using the same form to see how the two compare. There are two important considerations with 360-degree appraisals. First, it has to be completely confidential. That way, you get much more honest answers from people. And secondly, you need to make sure suitable counseling is available when you go through the feedback results. Interviewer, so at the moment, you don't actually use it for appraising performance. Manager, no, it works better as a development tool. We use it as part of our overall performance management, a way of bringing about change rather than assessing performance. Interviewer, last question. Right. And does it really help change people? Manager, yes. I had a new member on one of my teams recently. I thought he was very communicative, very open, always said what he thought, and I liked that. But when we did the 360-degree appraisal, the staff feedback was all negative, and he came over as domineering and forceful. As a result of this, he did change his behavior and became more accepted by the team. And that's what I mean about it being different from top-down appraisals. In that example, a top-down appraisal from me would have told him to carry on speaking his mind. But it was the 360-degree feedback that made us aware of the need for a change. And that is all you need to know about the 360-degree appraisal. Class, what is the central idea of the 360-degree appraisal? What do you think?
To have a complete feedback from the top as from the bottom.
Okay. So let's say a more complete type of feedback from the top as well as the bottom, and you're missing one point. Critically, also from whom? You're missing one person in that loop. The top, the bottom, and What's he missing, class? The top, the bottom, and
Flat.
not just flat. Yourself.
Yourself, yeah.
Yeah, you appraise yourself too. You're right, it is flat, absolutely. It's a flat appraisal because everyone gets to have a say. But most critically, you appraise yourself, your answers are compared to the rest of the group,
Yes.
right?
You have a feedback form to everyone that you come into contact with you, no?
Exactly.
Yes.
So you fill it out and they fill it out.
Yeah.
That's it. So that answers the question, how do they work? Well, everyone gets a feedback form to fill in. Employees assess themselves, several other people, managers, colleagues, that kind of thing. So the reason it's 360 degrees is because it's meant to show you a complete picture, 360-degree picture, not from one point of view. That's the meaning of 360 degrees. Class, what do raters comment on? What do
They
raters comment on? Go ahead.
Yes,
Go for
they
it.
comment. They comment the attitude, job skills,
Right,
behaviors.
right.
I don't remember more.
Let me see. Capacidades in English. Capacidades.
Capabilities.
Almost, not capabilities, abilities.
Abilities. Okay.
Right. We do have the word capability, but the translation of capacidade would be ability. It's more common to say ability. That's it.
Okay.
Those are exactly the right things. Job skills, abilities, attitudes, and behaviors. Last question. What two important things do you need to consider in this way of doing an appraisal? Sylvia, give me one so that I know you were listening with your bad microphone. Sylvia, give me one. What do you think? Sylvia?
I don't know.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
No.
Nothing?
Yes.
Nothing.
Oh, my God. Jose?
John, I think the most important is that the form should be confidential.
That's probably the most important. If it's not confidential, people won't be honest.
Yes.
All right? I want to hear from someone who hasn't spoken, though. I want to hear from, how about Jacqueline? You've been very quiet. Hello, Jacqueline.
Hello.
Hello. So, being confidential is one important thing. Can you tell me another?
I don't remember the other important thing, sorry.
Let me give you a little hint. Here's a little hint. What do we need when we hear the results? Some people get very upset when they're being judged, right?
Yes.
So what does the 360-degree appraisal system have to help you deal with the results? If you don't remember, you can use your imagination. What do you think they do? Even if you didn't hear it. What do you think that they have to make it easier? What would you imagine?
Say to the people the good things too.
Okay, so not all negatives.
Yes.
That makes sense. Class, is that it? Is that the second point?
Oh, I think they need people who can advise the other who was evaluated to make the changes in their behavior.
What do we call those kind of people? I think you're right.
Culture, counseling, I don't know.
Counselors. So, Jacqueline, you got the right idea, but the missing piece is that there's a person who is trained to give feedback, or a person you can go to who has training so that you can know how to put things into action, not take it personally, that kind of thing. So they said counseling, like this in the chat window. I'll put it there in a second, one moment. There you go. Counseling, which means that there's a counselor available. Sylvia, does that make sense? Those 2 points?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Let's take a look. I just want to make sure everything is clear. This is what I was reading. If you want to review it, it's on slide 8, and it continues to slide 9. I want you to look at those bold words. Everyone, take one of the bold words, just say it to get into your memory. Okay, so the first one is the bold word. I don't know if it's easy to see. The first bold word is move on. Is it right that you've moved on from top-down staff appraisals? Can everyone see that's supposed to be a little darker than the rest of the words? I hope you can see it. Sylvia, can you say the next bold word for me?
Just a second.
Can you see it? It's at the bottom.
Come over also in the second slide.
Come over? Wait. On slide 8.
Okay, in slide 8 we hand out.
Hand out. We hand out a feedback form. Very good. Okay. And Sergio, the next one.
Okay, hand out and end up with.
End up with. Notice you need the preposition. You can't just say end up. It must be end up with something. Okay, on slide 9, Ramses. Do you see the next bold words in slide 9? On the left side?
When you go through the feedback result, go through.
Perfect. When you go through feedback results, this is a phrasal verb. Phrasal verbs, a regular verb is get. A phrasal verb is get up. A regular verb is put. A phrasal verb is put down. So when you add the preposition through, the meaning is totally different than just go. We call those phrasal verbs, and you can see it in the chat window. Phrasal verb. It's a verb that has 2, sometimes 3 parts. Okay, very good. And Marius, the next one after go through?
Yes, the next one is came over.
Yeah, he came over as domineering. Came over. We're going to see what all these words mean in just a moment. Okay, and I think we're on to Luigi, the last one.
Sorry, carry on.
Carry on. Keep calm and carry on. Okay, now that you know the words, what you're going to do is complete the phrases. Give me just a second here. Yeah, okay, sorry. Those phrasal verbs are on the next page. So here, we're going to just pick out the key words, the key nouns. We'll get to the phrasal verbs in just a second. Okay? So, based on what you heard, you're going to just match up the word in italics, criteria, appraisal, judgment, tool, management, rating, with the definition or the question. Then we're going to move on to the prepositions, and then you're going to be doing a little bit of an appraisal yourself in just a moment. Let's try it. Jose, we're up to you. Can you take the first for us?
Yes. How does 3060 differ from a more traditional top-down staff appraisal?
Appraisal is correct. Very good. Jacqueline, take the second.
In what ways in 360 grades a development degrees a development tool?
Excellent. These were all the questions you heard the interviewer ask, and that is right. Staff appraisal, development tool. Okay? Diego, try the third.
Yes. What sort of assignment?
Assessment with an S. Good, good.
Assessment. Criteria?
Good.
maybe used for 360 degrees appraisal.
Perfect. That's it. Back to you, Sylvia, for 4.
Who would carry out the peer?
It's a synonym for appraisal. A synonym. A type of appraisal.
Judgment in your situation?
Pure
No.
judgment? Nah, sounds strange.
Judgment. Criteria?
No, because criteria is not an action. And we need some kind of an action. The peers are doing something. Criteria.
So management.
That's not a verb though.
No. Okay. I have said all. No.
You haven't said them all. No, you're missing one. You're missing the one that you don't know. Can you say to management? No, you can say to
No.
manage. Peer manage sounds weird. Can you say to
But-
criteria? No.
No.
You can
But
say to.
rating.
Say again?
Rating?
Are you guessing or are you sure?
No. It's the only one that I can to rate.
And it's correct. It's correct. It is correct, Sylvia.
Okay.
Rejoice. So ask the question now, and let's hear how it's done.
Who would carry out the peer rating in your situation?
Exactly.
But
And
I
it
don't know the meaning.
The meaning is, Sergio, what is the meaning? What does she mean by peer rating?
Peer rating is to check the I don't know what's the word.
After today's class, Verbling will ask you to rate the class, right?
Yeah, evaluate.
Evaluate, right. And you're all going to put 5 stars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sylvia, when you put 5 stars, that's a peer rating. Or, well, not a peer rating, we're not peers, but you understand the idea. Rate is to assign a value that shows your evaluation. 10 is good, 1 is bad. 5 stars is good, 1 star is bad, right? To rate.
Okay.
Think about that with movies, you know? How many stars did the movie get? How was it rated? Also, in America, we have ratings for violence, nudity, profanity. So it can say the movie was rated R. That means a group of people decided that it needs to be R for restricted, that children can't see it. Rated. So rating is not just good or bad, it can also be any other kind of value. To rate. To rate. How would you rate the Lego movie, Sylvia?
4?
Everything is awesome! 4? It
I don't know, I
deserves
never
a
saw
6. Oh, you
I
never saw it?
it?
See it today. It'll change your life. See it today, Sylvia. Okay. We're back to Sergio for number 5.
Okay, number 5. As a rater, how honest would you be in your evaluation of your peers? Judgment.
Value judgment. That's it.
Judgment.
Value judgment. Okay? And we're up to Ramses for number 6.
Okay, do you have a role in performance management in your company?
Perfect. Excellent. Do you have a role in performance management in your company? Remember these questions because you're going to be asking them to each other in a moment or two. If we don't run out of time, that is. It says ask these questions to each other, but I want to come back to them in just a minute. I want to work on vocabulary for a minute. Because we looked at those key vocabulary words, those phrasal verbs, let's see how many of them you can remember from the context. Remember, go back to slide 8 if you need to, slide 8 and 9. Okay? Let's keep going. Marius, Look at this. End up with, go through, move on, hand out, carry over. Sorry, carry on, came over. Which one of these things do you think means to get a result?
To get a result.
If you're not sure, just go back to the text. Let's see if you're right. So get a result was you end up with a more complete picture. The result you get is a more complete picture. I agree. That's it. So if you can substitute the word in the interview, you know you're right. Okay? Let's go to Luigi. What do you think? Give an impression. What do you think about number 2, Luigi? Give an impression.
Well, I don't know.
Well, why don't you take a guess? Because we can do a test. If you can substitute the word, then we'll see if it's right or not.
Came over.
Let's see. Look at this. Look at that sentence on the right side. See it on the right side? So Luigi.
Yes.
Well, read it and try to put in the word impression.
The staff feedback was all negative, and he gave an impression as domineering and forceful.
Sounds good, right?
Yes, yes.
So you're absolutely right. It's correct. It works. So the first one is end up with. The second one is to come over or came over. Gave. By the way, in American English, we say come across. In British English, they say come over. But everyone will understand you if you use either. Come over, come across. For number 2. Okay? Jose, let's try number 3. What do you think?
Number 3, I think, stop doing one thing and start another. I think the answer is move it on, no?
Let's see. Moved on was the first one. So, see if you can say that sentence with stopped one thing and started another. What has started and what has stopped? Has something started in the first sentence on the left?
In the first sentence on the left? No.
Has something started?
No.
Yes?
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 Ah, yes. Yes.
Top-down appraisals have started.
Ah, yes. Top-down staff appraisals. Okay.
And what has stopped? I'm sorry, I said it backwards. I'm sorry. What has started? Sorry. 360-degree appraisals have started. What has stopped? Top-down appraisals.
Top-down staff appraisals stop and begin. What begin, John?
360-degree appraisals.
360-degree appraisal begin.
Have
Okay.
begun.
Have begun.
So your answer is correct. Moved on is right. So that's the game you need to play. Just see if you can put it back in the text. Sometimes you have to change the sentence, but you can easily confirm that they're right. Even if you don't say the sentence perfectly, you can see that your meaning is correct. Okay.
I decided this word because I chose this word by common sense. I think.
Yeah.
Stop doing one thing makes sense. Stop doing one thing and start another.
But be careful because not all phrasal verbs make sense. A lot of them don't make sense.
Yes.
But this one you can figure out just from the definition. Sure. Let's go to Jacqueline for number 4.
Distribute, carry on.
To carry on. Let's see. By the way, the pronunciation should be distribute. Distribute.
Distribute.
Okay, let's take a look at carry on. Let's see if it works. Carry on is at the end. Can you put distribute in that sentence, Jacqueline? Let's see.
In that example, a down that appraisal from I will have told him to distribute. I don't know.
Distribute speaking his mind. Speaking his mind means to give an opinion. Do we distribute opinions?
No.
Yeah, we distribute products. We don't distribute opinions.
Yes.
It doesn't work. Take a second guess.
Hang out.
Okay. Hand out means the same as distribute. Let's see if it works. Well, if you don't know hand out, I can tell you that it's correct. Because hand out is also a phrasal verb, so not so easy. But number 4, distribute. Hand out. Where is it? There it is. Can you put distribute in that sentence on the left? We handed out a feedback form. We distributed a feedback form. Sounds okay, right?
Yes.
We distributed feedback forms. We handed out. Handed out because we used our hands to give it to people. We handed it out. We distributed it with our hands. That's where it comes from. It's correct. We're on to Diego for number 5.
Just look at very carefully.
Look at very carefully. Another way to say examine something. I'll give you a little clue here. It's looking at a situation, not looking at something physical.
Carry on.
Carry on has something to do with movement, though, doesn't it? Because we always saw carry on here. Top-down appraisals for me would have told him to carry on speaking his mind. So,
No.
is that to examine speaking his mind doesn't work?
No.
You know it means examine. Look at carefully, examine. So, there's only one choice left then, Diego. We've used came over, we've used hand out, we've used move on, we've used end up with. What's left?
Go through.
That's the only possibility, and let's see if it works. Let's take a look. Go through is here on the top left. Can you use examine in that sentence?
Okay. You need to make a suitable counseling is enabled when you go through the feedback session.
Can you use examine there? Can you substitute go through for the word examine?
I don't remember the exactly of the
Examine, to look at carefully.
okay.
Could you say look at carefully?
Look at carefully. Okay. It's able when you look at carefully the feedback results.
Okay, so it works. When you look at the feedback results carefully, it works. It has the same meaning as go through. It works. Last one is continue. So there's only one left. What is it, class?
Carry on.
Carry on.
Go on.
So, carry on. There you go. Okay. Let's carry on. To end the class today, we're going to do a little speaking activity. Choose one of the jobs below, or another job that you want to talk about, that you think we will know about. Think of any job skills. Knowledge of medicine, knowledge of language, ability to whatever. Think of other abilities. Ability to talk to patients, maybe like the counselor. Think of the skills and abilities that could be used could be used as assessment criteria. Then discuss the usefulness of top-down and 360-degree appraisals for the job. Now, you can do that, or we should start by doing that, but I'd like you to talk about your job in particular and which kind of appraisal you would prefer. So why don't we start by talking about these jobs and then switch it over to talking about the one you prefer. What would you like? What do you think is a fair way to get appraised, or a better way? All right? So I'm going to assign you a job, but you're going to talk about your own experience as well. Okay? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs. I'm going to randomly give you a job. Diego, doctor. You're a doctor. Jacqueline, teacher.
Thank you.
Our teacher, Marius, is going to be an accountant. Our soldier is going to be a human resource worker, Luigi. Ramses, because I haven't heard you speak a lot, you're going to be a salesman. That means Jose.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
So Ramses, you're going to be the salesperson.
Ah, okay.
Okay. That means Jose, Sergio, and Sylvia, you're going to think of a job that we might know, but that's not on the list. And what I want you to do is talk about which is the more appropriate way to do the appraisal, which is better and why, and talk about your own experience a little bit. All right? Just as an example, being an online teacher, that's not there, but you can imagine, being an online teacher. Well, I think that appraisals should be 360 degree for online teachers for many reasons. There's so many people on the internet, it's very hard to know what their experience is on the other side. Some people miss classes, or they don't have good technical things like bad sound. And oops, someone's got to mute their microphone. I don't know, whoever's on the phone out there. I'm just going to, maybe it's Diego. So I would say that having an equal, at least a top-down and bottom-up appraisal is the best way to go. Because informed people should look at your performance, and the internet as a whole can give you a rating as well. But you can't take it too seriously because there's so many people with so many different experiences that there needs to be balance. So that's my opinion about being an online teacher. Okay? Let's go with Ramses. Why don't you start? You're going to talk a little bit about salespeople. Even if you don't have experience, you can use your imagination. What do you think?
I'm not sure I want to talk about the appraisals, the 360 appraisal on a top-down in reference to salespersons. I'm not sure I want you to.
I want you to give an opinion. What do you think would be the best way? If you had a company,
Yeah.
how would you appraise your salespeople? How would you prefer to do it?
I think it's better the 360 appraisal for the consumers, for my opinion.
Okay.
Because there are different ways to see the appraisals, and the top-down is not complete appraisals. It's more complete 316 appraisal for the
360 degree
customers.
appraisals. Okay.
Yeah, I think.
As you give your answers, I want you to recall the key words that we learned. Key words were come up with, to come over, to move on, to hand out, to go through, to carry on.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget about, let me just go back here for a second. Don't forget also about staff appraisal, development tool, assessment criteria, peer rating, value judgment, performance management. Try to use as many of those words when you're talking about your topic. Okay? So try to do it from memory for today. You can also cheat. You can also cheat and go back. If you have this open in your screen, go back to page 11 for the phrasal verbs.
Okay.
Go back to page 10 for the key words. So could you add one of those key words or phrasal verbs to what you said, Ramses?
Yeah, maybe normally I making a present with toggle down, and now we move on to 316 appraisal.
Perfect. Moving on was one of our key phrasal verbs. Excellent. Okay, excellent. So, what about, let's see, Marius, you were the accountant, right?
Yes, yes.
How should accountants be evaluated, in your opinion?
I think it depends. If you work as a self-employed accountant, the best way to be evaluated is top-down appraisal.
Okay.
Because yeah, if your clients have good references and speak well about your work and they are satisfied, they will bring more clients, and you will gain a lot of money.
You earn a lot.
You will earn a lot of money. But if you are an employee, I think the 360-degree appraisal is better.
So if it's a company accountant, you mean?
Yeah, if you work in a company, you're not self-employed. The best way to be evaluated is with a 360-degree appraisal, because you can have a feedback from your boss, but also from your colleagues.
You've got a great opportunity to use a keyword, and the keyword you could use is number 4. Look at number 4. Who would carry out the peer
assessment?
Not assessment, Sylvia. Peer. Sylvia, you had this one. Peer. Sylvia.
Peer rating.
Peer rating.
Okay.
So Marius, that would be a great opportunity to use the word peer rating.
Yeah.
You can say feedback, but to use a new term, you could say you'll get a peer rating, which will really show you how you're getting on in the company. Okay? So listen, everyone. Here's what we're going to do. We have to stop now. I'm going to give you a short homework to try. I'm going to send it to you later today. I haven't made it yet, but I will. So I'll send it to you later today. But take the question that I asked you about your topic or the job that you chose. Use those keywords to talk about your opinion, but write it as a text, send it to me, I'll correct it, and I'll send it back to you. So that's a short homework you can try. Later, I'll send you a little homework to practice all the vocabulary from last Thursday and from today. Okay, so look for that in the Verbling message system later today. Tomorrow, we'll be back at the same hour to start the skills section of this unit. So we're going to go a step further and learn key phrases and go further with assessments. And I'll be back 1 hour earlier tomorrow at 9 GMT for speaking skills, how to describe places. That'll be tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Bye for now. Great job, everyone.
Bye, bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye, everyone.
See you.